Hi guys, it's Maha here. Today I'm going to be doing a tag called 3x3x3, and it was originally posted by the lovely Inner Whispers, and I was tagged by Monsoon Magic, and this is going to be my very first tag ever. So what we had to do was choose 3 tarot decks that are 3 of our favorite tarot decks, 3 of our favorite Oracle decks, and 3 Lenormand decks. But if you're not using Lenormand, you could use any other Divinition tool. So I'll start with my tarot decks. My first one is going to be the Druidcraft Tarot. This is a classic deck for me. I've had this for a long time, and it was the deck that I kind of started learning with. It's a deck based on the Rider-Waite system. Very beautiful hand-painted paintings, illustrations, and they are exquisite. So if you're comfortable using the Rider-Waite system, this is a very nice deck. This is a deck I learned with. It was one of the decks, along with the Mythic Tarot, that really taught me how to use tarot. I love the cards. They're nice and large. The artwork is just so original. It's so beautiful, so well done, and with such skill. Illustrated by Will Worthington. He also did the Animal Druid Tarot, the Animal Druid Oracle, and other decks. And these cards, they are just so full of color, full of emotion. They're amazing to read with. Just look at how saturated the colors in the deck are. This is the Ace of Swords. It's a very nice, little, slightly different take on the Rider-Waite system, still staying true to the images, yet creatively coming up with a little bit different ones. This is the Seven of Swords, as you can see. If you know, the Seven of Swords from Rider-Waite is different, but still same feelings. The Eight of Swords, so this is actually Eight of Wands, sorry. Very good examples of what I mean by that page. Princess of Cups. Yeah, this is a really, really, really wonderful deck. It's a classic, like I said. It's been around for a long time. Lots of people love it. I respect this deck a whole lot. And the book that it comes with is one of my best decks in my collection. One of my best books in my collection. It just has so much knowledge and insight, information, all into this one book. I've spent so much time reading this book. The card meanings are wonderful. If you are a pagan or a Wiccan or follow Druidry, this is a really great deck for you. Or if you're someone who's just beginning with those crafts or just interested in them, this is really great because the book just tells you so much. I love this deck because I think it's so well done. So much time has been put into it, and it's my top first deck that I absolutely adore. Then my second one is one that's a little different for me at least. This is a new deck for me. It's the Nicoletta Ceccoli Tarot by Los Garbeo. And this is the box. I don't have the box for Druidcraft deck anymore. I get rid of my cardboard boxes usually. So this is a little white book that it comes with. Very basic book. It took me a while to get this deck because I simply wasn't sure how I felt about the images. The images are kind of, well, they are childlike yet a bit, I mean, at first I thought, to be honest, that they were kind of eerie. And like this one, for example, they are images of children of all girls. It's one girl actually featured in the deck. So first I wasn't sure how I felt about just one girl and not all these other characters. I'm just showing you the images for examples. And then, you know, after, it took me a while to get used to the idea of, maybe after watching a lot of reviews, after watching people talk about this deck for a long time, I started thinking about it. And like I said, this is a really new deck for me. I got it quite recently, like about a month ago. And ever since then, I've just been so, I can't stop thinking about the images. They're really wonderful. This deck is really great for reading intuitively. So when I find when I read with this deck, so much comes to me. Not all the cards are really reminiscent of the images on Rider-Waite system. I mean, they are kind of their own thing. They are a bit different. Like, for example, this is the Four of Wands. And as you can see, girl is just running through lollipops. And she's with her bee. So it took me a while to realize that this is a world of, as if this is an imaginary world. All the toys and all the animals in this deck are alive. They are all the characters that we see in Rider-Waite decks, except that there are animals and they're like fish or toys, little elephants, and just it's a very weird deck. Some people think it's a very weird deck. I mean, I don't use this deck for people unless they're comfortable with the images. This is nice. That's the Three of Swords. I love this card. I always look for it in every deck that I get. So yeah, this has got its own story. And I've been working with it a lot, and like I said, I get very nice readings with this deck for myself and for other people. So that was my number 2. My number 3 is this one right here, which I've wrapped in my own cloth. Ta-da! The Anna K Tarot deck, which comes with this little really nice compact book. I haven't read the book yet. I've looked at it and I've read some parts of it. I've skimmed through it and it's really great. It's to the point and it's beautifully written. What I love about it is at the end of where you have the meanings, at the end right here, there's tips on how to remember what the meaning is, the meaning of the cards. And the cards are wonderful. They are based on the Rider-Waite system again. And what I love about this deck is how vivid and strong the images are. Very powerful. I love the black borders. I love the colors. As you can see, it just pops out. And colors are really important to me. And with these cards, I find that I can really use both my intuition and my knowledge of tarot. They speak to me. They really get the essence of the meaning of each card. These images do. Magician. High Priestess. The Anna K Tarot is really great. It's awesome. I love it. Six of Cups. I love the images. They're just so full of character, you know, like personality. Each face, each figure has so much personality, and you can really read by looking at the artwork. You can really feel what the characters are feeling in each image, like Queen of Swords, just like cold ice, snow. What a great idea. The artwork is fantastic. It's very, I think, very successful. Each card is very well done. I also love hand-painted or hand-drawn imagery on tarots. I really appreciate that. Page of Swords. Wow. Just, I can't say which is my favorite card because all of them really pop out to me. All of them just sing. There, look at the tower, blasting. Really great artwork, and the black borders really, really help to make it even pop out more. Make them pop out more. Okay. Let's see. All right. So next is my next 3 Oracle decks. This is my first one, Magical Times Empowerment Cards by Jody Bergsma. This is the box, which is really neat, and the cards. So, let's see, bring the camera closer here. So the cards, this is the back of the cards, really nicely made, really thick. The book it comes with is just a little white book, which I don't usually use, but just simple 1-paragraph affirmations. What's really, really neat about this deck is that all the images come with a short, few sentences of affirmations on the bottom and a word on top. So this is a deck that lots of people like. It's a really popular deck. I love the imagery. I've had some very powerful meditation and dream work with this deck. All the paintings are done by watercolor. They're all watercolor paintings, and they are very gentle, very soothing, calming. Union. So like down here, it says, wonderful quote, you have seen and unseen allies dry upon their strength, join forces with friends and flourish. So as the title says, these are very empowering cards, and I love drawing them when I'm in a meditative state. They're very calming for the mind, very relaxing, very good to use when you want to just calm your mind. Next set of decks is my all-time favorite, the Goddess Oracle. I don't have the box here either, but it came in a nice box actually. I have the box somewhere. Okay, so this deck is a deck I've had for a very long time, and it is my favorite Goddess Oracle. I love this deck so much. First of all, the book is excellent. I learned so much from this book. It's really well written. There's meditations in here. There's a poem. It starts off with introducing the goddess with a poem, the mythology of the goddess. Then there's a long meaning for the card, a ritual suggested here, which is really nice. It's different for all of them, all the goddesses. And it's a deck that I really grew with. I really grew with this deck. And the images are just so beautiful, so colorful, and full of personality. It is my favorite goddess deck, period. I mean, there are some out there, but there's not enough goddess decks out there, you know. That's what I think. There should be more. So the images are like every goddess's image suits her personality really, really well. Looks like the artwork is done by pastels or pencil crayons. Very soft, Aphrodite. So, there's a keyword on the bottom after the name of the goddess. So it's really cool how the artist changes her style a little bit according to the goddess. I mean, it is still all her own style, but like there are some decks. There is a goddess deck I know out there, and I didn't get that one. I forget, it's by a Blue Angel. I didn't get that one because I found that the images were all sort of similar color scheme, similar sort of drawing style. But with this one, I love this one, Inanna. I know a girl who looks like her, and every time I see her, I think of this card. Yeah, so this deck is very different. The artist has captured the essence of each goddess in a very successful way. Like, every image is so different, you know, and it gives you a feeling. The difference between this and this is not, the difference is not just the facial features. The difference is the style, the color, the flow, the energy of each card is different. This is why I think this deck is so successful for me. And it works so well, and I love the back. And I feel like this is a very magical deck. This is my mother deck when it comes to Oracle decks. This is the deck that I really, really grew up with. I feel like I grew up with this deck. The next one is also a goddess deck. This is the third one. And it's the Ancient Feminine Wisdom of Goddesses and Heroine. This is a US Games deck, and it comes with a little white book, which, as you can see, has had a lot of use. Let's see if I can move the camera closer. Sorry about that. But yeah, this little white book is not just a little white book. This is a really great white book. In my opinion, it might as well have been a bigger book because it's just so loaded with stuff. I mean, the writing, you do need to look up, I think, each goddess more than what's in here. But what's in here is really a good place to start with. And the cards. This is my own. All these are my own bags. I put them in, by the way. Cards are great. There are, I think, no, I can't remember how many cards are there. 52 cards. So 52 goddesses, but only from the Greek pantheon. So they are like the backs, by the way. They are featuring only Greek goddesses, and there are so many goddesses in here. Some of them I couldn't even pronounce, let alone be familiar with. I love the artwork. Kay Stevenson is such a phenomenal artist. She painted all these images. These are all original paintings. The only thing that's a little bit of a shame is that they're too small, so it's hard to see all the details that she's got in here. So I wish the cards were bigger, or maybe, I don't know. Yeah, if they were bigger with borders, it would be fine. But it's hard to see some of the details in here. There are so many goddesses. So the way it had them listed here is, for example, there is Iris, my favorite one. Iris, her name on top, and then a keyword on the bottom, rainbow. And then in the book, there is a section where it talks about the mythology, and then it gives you a meaning, a divinatory meaning. So, really great. I've used this deck ever since I got it, which was a year ago. I've used it almost every day, and I'm trying to learn all the goddesses in here. Well, I'm trying to learn Greek mythology. I've been studying it for a number of years, and it was really good. So if you're interested in Greek mythology, that's a great deck to have. All right, so my next is my 3 divinatory tools. So I don't use Lenormand, so I'm going to introduce 3 things that are a little bit different. The first one is the poetry of Hafez. So I got to give you a little bit of background. Hafez, which is in English written H-A-F-I-Z. This is a book called The Gift, Poems of Hafez, translation by Daniel Ladinsky. You can get this on Amazon or anywhere in a bookstore. Hafez is a Persian, ancient Persian poet, And the ancient Persians, as well as the modern Persians, used his poetry as an oracle, as a form of divination. They still do. So this beautiful book that I've got here is a book of Hafez's poems in Persian. I wanted to show you this because this is an original book and I borrowed it from my father. And I just wanted to show you what it looks like. So the way it works is you pretty much just randomly open the book up to a page. Then you read the text. This is written in Farsi and I can read it, but it's very difficult for me to understand it, so I read the English. And then when you open it up to a page, you read the poem, whichever poem you open up to, and then the meaning you get from the poem is the advice you have for that moment. So that's simply how it's done. Now this book I wanted to show you because it has beautiful illustrations, Persian miniature illustrations. So all Hafez books that are written in Farsi that Persian people use, they all have illustrations in them. Some of them are so fancy. They're big books with like really fancy Persian miniature paintings in them and gold around it, and they're gilded, and you know, you can go simple or to really ornate. I mean, complicated. They're beautiful. The paintings are really poetic. And Hafez was a master poet, and he, at the time when he was alive, he was an oracle, so people seeked him for guidance as well. Sought him, I should say. Nice, really dreamlike. And so if you can get the translations in English, they are beautifully written. If you know Rumi, it's very similar to Rumi poetry, very simple. You know, it's just simple life insights. They're not usually not long. Some of them are quite short. Like you can see, this is just a few lines. This is just a few lines. So check it out if you're not familiar. It's pronounced Hafez in Persian with an E, but sometimes pronounced Hafiz in English. Right, I'm just going to pause here and talk about the next two divinatory tools. So I call my second divination tool tea divination. A few months ago, I discovered a tea company that makes really lovely chamomile lavender teas that have on the tag here, you know how the tea bags have this little tag. On each tag, there is a different word. This one says comfort, for example. This is what I got this morning. And I open one up every morning and it gives me one word, and it's just my little word to focus on for the day. I like it. It's really simple, but this is my tea divination. And my last one is cloud divination. I guess that's what you call it, cloud divining. I read the clouds. I look at the sky and I observe the shapes and patterns of the clouds, and they always tell me something different. I see all kinds of shapes, from people to animals to mythological creatures, and gods and goddesses. I see action and things happening, and to be honest, this has actually saved me from getting into really bad arguments. It's a very good stress reliever as well. In fact, a couple of years ago, I was seeing a therapist, and she told me that it's actually proven that it has an effect. It calms the brain, the nervous system, when you look up at the sky. So if there are clouds, I do cloud divining. Thanks for watching, guys, and I really enjoyed this tag. Thank you to Inner Whispers for posting it, and thank you for Monsoon Magic for giving me a little nudge to do it. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.